Hi. Last Monday, my daughter and I climbed Ayers Rock, climbed Uluru. And I just want to talk about climbing Uluru and climbing Ayers Rock. The moment we climbed the Uluru, my daughter just texted a few people and said she did this. I told a few people, my wife's told this to a few people. And we got a lot of flack, a lot of criticism, a lot of disapproval. And hence this video. I'm not fully convinced as to why one should not climb Uluru. I don't understand the reason why, whether it's the indigenous people or whether it's Australia, whether it's parts of the world that are totally in disagreement to climbing the Uluru. From a safety perspective, yes, 100%. I do agree that it is a difficult climb. Me personally, from a personal point of view, this is probably one of the most physically and mentally challenging things I've done. No doubt. In fact, there was, for a minuscule of a moment, death actually crossed my mind. It stared at me for a very, 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 very brief moment. I was on all fours, F-O-U-R-S. I was on all fours, and for a second I didn't know whether to go up, to go sideways, to go down, and all I did was just stopped, gathered my thoughts, and then I moved on. So totally, from a safety perspective, I fully agree that it is not something for everyone. You have to have high levels of courage, and my courage was tested. You have to have good footwear, no doubt. You've got to be mentally ready and physically able as well. So from the safety point of view, I do accept that it is challenging to climb the Uluru. And that's pretty much it. From any other aspect or perspective, I'm not convinced at all. Because what I feel, Uluru or Ayers Rock does not belong to anyone. Does not belong to anyone. It just belongs to Earth. Belongs to Mother Earth. It's just part of Earth. Now these borders, this is something that I've spoken about even in past episodes. Borders are something that have been created by us, human beings, by people. Is this Australia? No, not from my point of view. It's just a word. Northern Territory is just words. Any country is just a word that we have created, we as in human beings, and given it a certain word. But if you look at it from the universal point of view, or from the cosmic point of view, or from God's perspective, this is not Australia. It's just a word. I mean, for most people to identify this part of region of the world as Australia, it's just for them. Not that I do not subscribe to the fact that yes, this is Australia, but when I look at it from the universe's point of view, I'm not entirely convinced if this belongs to anyone at all. It's just part of Earth. It's just something that was created by forces, by cosmic forces. Earth is not round in shape. It gives it a spherical shape because of water. But otherwise, if you took out the water from Earth, it'll be a very odd-shaped object. And Uluru is just part of this Earth. As much as people who've lived there for hundreds and thousands of years may claim this is a sacred place, this is, we have a spiritual connection to this, that's your point of view, that's your perspective. That's, to a certain level, that's the level of consciousness we are all in. And that's the level of consciousness you're in. And you reject every other perspective and go with the masses. Well, this is what 90% or 95% of the population thinks, and we should respect that. I'm not disrespecting anyone or anything by climbing the Uluru. It's my perspective, it's my belief. So it's like saying, if someone were to cross the Atlantic Ocean swimming, it is probably a crazy thing to do. Most people are going to reject it and say, oh, you're going to kill yourself. absolutely. From a safety perspective, yes. But no country is going to say, oh, this belongs to me, the Atlantic Ocean is ours, you can't swim this. What about Mount Everest? We know what Edmund Hillary said to, was it George Low, after climbing the Everest. Now, the people from Nepal don't claim it to be theirs. At least this is my point of view. They may be claiming it to be theirs, but they're not disallowing anyone from climbing it. This is almost like religion. You know, religion is something, it's man-made, it's created by us people. And yes, you're more than welcome to have laws around religion. I call them laws, they're rules. But I'm looking at it from beyond religion. I'm looking at it from a perspective of Earth. Again, Earth is just another word, but yeah, I have to stand somewhere. So when my daughter texted this fact that we climbed Uluru, she got a text saying to something like, it's like pooping on someone's graveyard or something like that. My wife was told, oh no, we don't want to hear about that. Even me, when I spoke with a colleague, I was told, how could you? You're disrespecting the indigenous people. What if someone stepped on your temple? It's absolutely fine. No temple belongs to me. Temples, again, have been created by us, built by us, people. So yes, you're more than welcome to have laws and rules around walking into temples with shoes on or shoes off. It's a law that's been created. But I would like to get some feedback from you as to why you think it is not the right thing to do. Why is Uluru sacred? Why is not every other piece on earth sacred? Every part of earth is equally created. God, what you call God, is, I don't know, probably your perspective of the word God and my perspective of the word God is maybe different, but what I think God or the universe or this thing called movement or this thing called intention is what God is, or ultimate truth is what God is, or ultimate infinity is what God is, nothingness is what God is, and everythingness is what God is. So God has not created one part of the earth with more love than the other. Everything has been created equally. It's just part of evolution. So if everything has been created equally without any kind of biases, who are we to create any kind of bias and say, this is not allowed, you are not allowed to do this, you can do this over there, but not here. And I find this very hard to understand. Okay, I want to say this, that I do have hundreds of thoughts going on, but all I have is just speech and language and words to be able to communicate all this, which is what ultimately everything is all about. Everything is just words and language, not consciousness, which I believe is a real everything. Consciousness. And when we look at everything from a small or a limited consciousness perspective, we see a lot of separation. We see what's right, what is wrong. We don't see the beauty of oneness or non-duality. Everything is just part of evolution. What about people who climbed the Uluru when there were no laws or rules? Is that alright? I do accept that everything is evolving. Yep, rules evolve as well. And that's why rules become meaningless when it constantly keeps changing. When you're in connection with this thing called intention or infinity or God or truth or whatever, you're absolutely in connection with that, and you don't have any kind of biases or separation. But when you're constantly changing rules, that is, you don't have the feet to stand on. It's very loose, very flippant, very constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing, but I'm just looking at everything from the point of view of cosmos. Everything is just space. when I was looking at the stars in Uluru, I was just thinking, there's only one thing, which is space technology. There's nothing else. Earth is part of space. Yeah, I would highly recommend everyone to just visit Uluru. It's easily one of the best 3 days we had in this most beautiful part of Earth. Right, please feel free to post comments. Dislike the video if you don't like it. Like it if you do. Please feel free to share this video with others. Please feel free to subscribe to these videos if you like. I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.